Well, so, yeah, we are doing, yeah, we're continuing with the previous video, exposing that it is all men. And the reason this is important is because so you understand it to a level that gets down to your subconscious, so that you can start behaving as your instinct was designed naturally, because this resets your instincts by giving you the information that had previously been taken out of you. So the information that was taken out of us was the ability to ID what a predator is, right? The ability to ID what a predator is, as far as the males are, yeah. So and that was done by the brainwash of it's not all men, by males are human, by the first and foremost, lie, deception, that males are human. Yeah, that is the first and foremost brainwash. And then, of course, that wasn't sufficient to work, because some of us started to clock it. And so now they came out with it's not all men. No, it is. No, baby, it is. It actually is all men, right? And you need to get it. And by resetting this information, right, your instincts start to come back. Your instincts start to come back so that you can treat them exactly like you would a predator, because that is what they are.
Self-protection, because when something happens so often, you start assuming it could happen again. You have to protect yourself. So when you hear it, don't take it personally. Instead of saying, not all men, because yeah, we know that. Try listening. Guys, let me break it down for you. When women say all men, they're not saying all males in our species. It's more like when they say, ugh, traffic is the worst. It's not every road, every day, but it's a problem that is so common that it feels like a safe bet. For a lot of women, dealing with the uncomfortable, dismissive, and even dangerous behavior from men isn't a rare experience. It's not a rare event, it's a pattern. So, over time, generalizing becomes the best way to talk.
You understand that he is using behavior as the metric of determining what if it's all men or not. But that's not what the metric is. The metric is it a man? Yes. Is it male? Yes. Then it's a predator. That's the design, because the genes are the ones that determine, how an organism is going to choose its method of survival, and their genes chosen the predator kind, the predator kind of survival method. That is why they're predators, and that happens at all levels of this organism, including in vitro, including in vitro, in vivo, in the womb, including in infancy. It happens in infancy, including in childhood. It happens in childhood. This is why you see 6-year-olds killing rabbits just to see how it feels to kill.
Because you don't want to qualify every sentence when you're talking to another guy and say, some men, not you, but some men. So it's self-protection, because when something happens so often, you start assuming it could happen again. You have to protect yourself. So when you hear it, don't take it personally. Instead of saying, not all men, because yeah, we know that. Try listening. The real message isn't about blame. It's about asking for a world where those patterns stop repeating. The best way to show that you're not part of the problem is to be part of the solution. You're welcome.
I get his point. It's not good to
take it personally. Often, you start assuming it could happen again. You have to protect yourself. So when you hear it, the real message isn't about blame. It's about asking for a world where those patterns stop repeating.
He said it's about asking for a world where those patterns stop repeating. But the reason it cannot stop repeating is exactly because it is all of them. It is exactly because it is all of them. Right? And he's saying that. He's saying, asking for a world where the patterns stop repeating, because he is trying to assert that some men are good. That some men are good. And that's not true. That simply cannot be true. Because when you look at every industry, engineering, physics, math, insurance, etc., what you see unilaterally is corruption. And the only ones who dominate every industry are males. They dominate even the care industry in which women work, in which even women dominate. They dominate not in numbers, but in power. And in other industries, right, they dominate both in power and in numbers. But you see that in the care industry, the same thing happens. Even when they're not, even when they don't dominate in numbers. Even when they don't dominate in numbers, they dominate in power. Now, and then you see the same problems. Now, I have heard of many cases of child abuse by daycares. And I always wonder, isn't it women who are in daycares? Why are these things happening? Only then I discovered that in each of those instances, the women who are involved in the daycares, right? They are allowing the males in their lives access. That's why these things are happening. That's why the things are happening. So even when they don't dominate with power, they, right? Just their mere presence alone, and the things happen. And you have to understand something else. You have to understand something else. Every male is in some kind of industry or other. I need you to understand this. If you want to say it's not all of them, every male is in some kind of industry or other. And it is every industry in every country. It is in every industry and every country that everything is corrupt. So when they come out here in your face, in public, right? When it is overt, when you can tell what their character is, they behave like they're good people. But when you go down deep further, and when you go down deeper, yeah, you find that every male is in every industry, and every industry is corrupt. Well, males are in every industry, and every industry is corrupt, and every male is in one industry or another, and every industry is corrupt. What about that? What about that?
The best way to show that you're not part of the problem is to be part of the solution. You're welcome.
I get his point. It's not good to put everyone in one
Have you seen this? It's absolutely insane. Look at the presentation on what's inside this can.
basket. It's not good to generalize. But when you have so many women experiencing the same pattern, complaining about the same thing all the time, having the same experience, would you blame this?
Now you don't even want her to go out anywhere with her girlfriend, or also believe in the
Anyways, some men don't agree with what he's saying. They strongly believe all men are the same. It's all men. Let's hear from them.
men also believe in the it's all men till it's no men. They just will never say it. They show it in other ways though. If it's not all men,
What did I say? What did I say? What did I say? I said they have to, for their own safety, they have to believe that it is all men. That's how they're showing it. When they have to check around for predators, when they have to tell you how to dress, for their own safety, they have to believe it is all men. Ever in the can you see this right here? Can you see this in this movie right here? This is one of the Chinese movies that I love so much. Yeah? Okay. So when you watch these movies, I'm obsessed with them. I don't know why. They when you see the woman touching any guy, yeah, any guy, the woman of the because you have to understand these are romance movies, right? Which means that is a pair. There is a pairing that is happening, right? There is a story of a pairing that is occurring, that is being told. but the pairing has not completed yet, which means a woman and a man getting together. Once they get together, finally married, etc., that is when it is completed. But in the process of it being complete, the woman still has to interact with other males, right? And the way now, when this interaction happens, no one brings to us the history of this male. You know, his jail history, his assault history, his corruption history, his murder history, none of that, right? No one comes with a long list. No one comes with a long list of his what? His rap sheet. Right? All this man sees is a male. All he sees is a male. And he goes out of his mind. And this happens in almost every movie. They don't even have to be touching. They only have to be talking. And he's going out of his mind. And this is nearly universal. One, he doesn't even know if this male is bad or not. Supposedly, according to them, according to what they want us to believe, right? They don't know if this male is bad or not. But what he does is behave as though this male is bad. So for their own safety, for their own benefits, the males, every male is bad. Except him, of course. Right? Every male is bad. But for your benefit, you have to treat them as though most of them are good. BS.
Man, why do so many guys crash out when their girlfriend or their wife has other friends that are men? All of a sudden, every man who's her friend
I didn't even know that's what it was about to say. I didn't even know that's what it was about to say. Yeah, I didn't even know that's what it was about to say.
becomes a threat. Now you don't even want her to go out anywhere where there's men around because you don't trust any of them. A woman could have a guy friend for years, someone who she's known for the longest. All of a sudden, this friend who she's known forever becomes a threat. Oh, he's not really your friend.
He's saying friend. He's saying friend, right? But it's not actually on the friend level, because friend level actually requires like frequent interactions, right? In which something might actually happen. This one that I see in the Chinese movies, there doesn't necessarily have to be a possibility of frequent interaction. It could even be only just one interaction, and they're going off like crazy. The mere contact, not even physical, with another male has their antennas going haywire. You have to understand how deeply they believe males are evil. You have to understand how deeply they believe males are evil for that to happen. For you to be going almost psycho at just a mere talking to another male that she might never ever see again.
Friend, you think he's your friend? How gullible of you. He's just waiting for his turn. And when a woman grabs lunch with a male coworker, suddenly it's inappropriate. Watch a woman go out with a male coworker to grab lunch or something along the lines of that nature, and see how fast the idea of it's not all men disappears. Every dude is now very distrusting of any guy who she goes out to lunch with. And you want to know why? It's because men know men. They know the unspoken cues, the hidden alternatives, the double agendas that they tend to come with when they want to get at a woman. They're not stupid. Men also believe in it's all men till it's no men. They'll just never tell you that. But I'll tell you that because I'm a man and I know how a lot of us think. And don't even get me started on a man who has a daughter. And this daughter is now growing older. She's maybe 16, 17, 18, starting to talk to boys, right? Now every boy who is getting to know his daughter isn't just a nice guy anymore. He watches how he behaves. He watches his words, his actions, everything. And now he realizes.
Okay, ladies, when if you're one of those women that you had a good dad, yeah, quote unquote good dad. When he told you, if he ever told you about males, did he ever say, "Oh, it's some of them, and here's how to tell you what's good"? Did he ever say that? I need you to ask yourselves that. I need you to ask yourselves that. Did your dad ever say, it's some of them, it's only some of them, and here's how to tell? Or did he tell you generally it's all of them? Did he say that?
That this is exactly what women were talking about that he never understood. For the first time, he feels it. That same gut instinct that an overwhelming majority of women have experienced throughout their entire life. And now he finally sees what women were talking about. Now he's finally aware of how hypersexualized women are, even at a young age. And it's not even him being paranoid, it's him finally looking at things through a woman's lens. They'll have a baby girl, and now the whole world feels unsafe. Every man who approaches his daughter or is near her is now treated as a potential threat or a potential danger. And this is exactly what I mean by when I say a lot of men also believe in the it's all men till it's no men. They just won't tell you, but they'll show you in other ways. And it shouldn't take a man to have a daughter to have empathy for women. But unfortunately, the sad reality is that in some cases, that is what it takes for a man to finally understand and realize what it
When he said it's all man till it's no man, no, he's saying that in a way to that doesn't actually make sense. What he's saying is that for the man, right, it's all man until he needs it to be no man, right? You understand? And he needs it to be no man when he needs to get benefits from a woman. He needs it to be no man when it comes to getting a job where you might be, let's say, you might be suspected of being a predator, where being a predator would matter. Yeah, like when if your daughter wanted a sleepover, now you need everybody to believe that, oh no, not all men, right? So basically, he's saying it's all men until it comes to him. It's all men until it comes to him, at least, right? When it comes to him, he needs you to believe that it's not all men, even though he is a man, right? Even though he is a man, even when they tell you, oh no, there are good men out there, right? They don't actually even mean there are good men. They are saying it in the context of as he's a good man, right? They're not even trying to stand up for other men. They're trying to stand up for themselves because when that question comes up, what also comes up every single time is that man is also under attack every single time. So when they say there are good men, they actually mean just themselves, because this man, they're not human enough to not be selfish, not be entirely selfish. When they tell you, there are good men, that you didn't pick a good man, etc., he means that so that you can see him as a good man, not that for you to actually go and pick a good man that is in him. That's what they really mean.
it is that women have been saying their entire lives. Moral of the story, a lot of men are hypocrites, and they'll tell you that it's not all men, but they'll act like it is all men. So next time you hear a man say that it's not all men, just show him this video.
So I'm probably going to get a little bit of flack for this, but it is all men, and that includes myself. And until men collectively start to recognize that and start holding themselves accountable, instead of having tantrums and gaslighting themselves and others like man children, we as a society are never going to heal, because toxic masculinity is at its root responsible for a lot of the issues that we have today. And to be quite honest, for those guys that do, refuse to hold themselves accountable, that can't recognize their own faults, you are essentially acting like just a giant wounded little boy and not an actual man.
Listen, all dudes are the same. All of us want one thing. We just got different ways of going about it. Don't sit there and think for 1 minute, for one moment, that man is different. He not different. He either don't like you like that, or he gotta be nice.
All dudes are the same. They only want one thing. What did I tell you? What did I say? Did I not say they only want one thing? Sex. Yeah. They don't want relationships, right? No. Actually, no. I misspoke. They want relationships, but not the kind that you get to benefit from it. They want a relationship that you just give them ass, and then you don't bother them ever again for anything. That's the ideal relationship that they want. Let me repeat that. They want a thing where you give them ass, and then you go your way. And then you are there to give them ass as many times as they want. Okay, you don't demand anything else from them. Let me repeat that. Okay. They just want to get sex from you anytime, and then they don't want to do anything where you would benefit anything whatsoever from them. Parasite. Exactly how parasite is, because you understand that a relationship has mutual benefits. That is what you call a relationship, something that has mutual benefits. They do not want to benefit you. So when women get married, you are getting into a thing where you are not supposed to benefit at all, right? It is only that they have seen how badly that is failing, that has failed, that they're offering something at all, right? But now they're slowly driving it with the conversation about 50-50. They are slowly driving it to, especially the black guys, actually, because the black guys have literally nothing to give, right? So they're slowly driving it to the point where, where their nature is, what they really want is becoming, becomes more and more true, where they get all they want from you and you get nothing. Because the point where you gain something, that's when a relationship starts. When you are just giving, there is no relationship. You are just giving to them, it's not a relationship. It's the ideal. It's parasitism, right? Because that's what they really are.
Because you don't look the part. Don't be confused. And don't get mad that we all want one thing. It's natural. We might grow to like you, but
there's nothing natural about it. Again, when I say that as the human race, okay? There's nothing natural about this in the human race. Ain't nothing natural about this. And why you're looking like this, like a human, right? It's not natural. When you get back into your whatever organism that you are, yeah, that will say it's natural for your organism. But as long as you look as a human organism, then I'll say no. Ain't nothing natural about that.
Coming into the situation, only thing we want to do is pop. Let's be real. No, none of us intend on staying. None of us do.
This is a good message, but it is also a very dangerous message. What do I mean?
Don't be confused. And don't get mad that we all want one thing. It's natural. We might grow to like.
It's natural that they're predators. It's natural that they're parasites, he's saying. Listen to this shit. Listen to this. They don't want relationships. They just want sex. That's just natural. It's just natural that they're predators. It's just natural that they're parasites. Listen to this nonsense.
You, but coming into the situation, only thing we want to do is pop. Let's be real. No, none of us intend on staying. None of us do.
This is a good message.
Situation, only thing we want to do is pop. Let's be real. No, none of us do. Don't be confused. And don't get mad that we all want one thing. It's natural. We might grow to like you, but coming into the situation, only thing we want to do is pop. Let's be real. No, none of us intend on staying. None of us do.
This is a good message, but it is also a very dangerous message. What do I mean? Let me explain. Listening to men say that it's all men can easily make women believe that all men are bad. So because you think all men are this way, all men are cheat, then there's no point making effort finding a better man. That's why I said this message is good, but can be very dangerous. So do not run with this and say all men are bad. Because of that, there's no point making effort to find a better man. Let me just stay with this man that is bad and manage the poison he's giving to me. No. In as much as men are saying that all men are the same, all men do this, I believe that some men have made effort to be different. Like I said, I don't know if...
Again, the effort notwithstanding, okay? The effort is notwithstanding. Because if you're saying that the effort is what makes them good, then an infant child that does something to a woman, then that's not a predator. Right? Then how is that a predator? How is that happening? It can't help itself. It is at the state where it can't help itself. That's why. Because it is at the state where it cannot choose, right? And that's why those things are happening. It is at the stage where it cannot choose to be better. And that's why it happens. Because, and it happens because that is what is in it. That is what is in it. That is what drives it. And these men have the same things in them. I'll be right back.
They are inherently this way, or the society made them this way. Whichever one it is, there are some men out there that have made conscious effort to be different.
Okay, watch this. You should never have to suffer through another winter without this. It's a beanie that has a face mask in it, so if you're overstimulated, you can just pull it down, but it keeps you nice and warm. I really don't know how I survived winter without this, and I will never go another winter without this. So what I do is I zip up my jacket. This tucks right in, and then when I'm outside and I'm cold, I can pull this up or pull it down. I don't feel overstimulated like with my hair. And
they're also saying all men do this. So do not run with this and say all men are bad. Because of that, there's no point making effort to find a better man. Let me just stay with this man that is bad and manage the poison he's giving to me. No.
Yeah, all men are bad. And that means that you're supposed to stay away from them. I'm not sure how this is too hard. I'm not sure why this is so hard for everybody. Okay? The purpose of them being bad in the first place at all is that you are not supposed to be with them at first. At all. You are not supposed to be with them at all. Okay? They are not supposed to even be here at all. They're not even supposed to be here at all. Let me repeat that. There's not supposed to be a thing called human males. That's not real. That was not supposed to exist. That was not supposed to exist. The entire structure of the biological organism that the males are became a thing after the existence of a parthenogenic female. The existence of the entire biological structure of males makes sense only in the context of there was already a parthenogenic female. The biological design makes sense only in the scenario that there was already a parthenogenic female. That is the only thing that makes sense in how they are designed. And also us, actually. Also us. That's the only thing that makes sense. There was not, two humans that were made to work together, anything. That doesn't exist.
As much as men are saying that all men are the same, all men do this, I believe that some men have made effort to be different. Like I said, I don't know if they are inherently this way or the society made them this way, whichever one it is. There are some men out there that have made conscious effort to be different. There are also some men out there.
Listen, here's what that also matters. Here's why you need to ignore her, okay? Even if they make the conscious effort to be different, it doesn't mean their instinct will still not kick in. You understand that this is why this matters. This is why this matters, that their nature is far stronger than their nurture, than what they choose. Just because they choose to be better does not mean that their nature would not later kick in. You heard you heard this man. Let me see. 2309 is where I was at. This man. Listen to this man.
That I am not going to rape her. Okay? In the UK, I think it involved a UK politician. I can't remember the details now. But I remember having conversations with my girlfriend at the time. And because I listened to her experience of life, I suddenly realized that just because I know I'm a nice guy, that woman in the lift that I get, or elevator, that I get into, where she's on her own and we're both in there together, she does not know that I am a nice guy. I only got this about 10 or 12 years ago, and there was a specific incident in the UK. I think it involved a UK politician. I can't remember the details now. But I remember having conversations with my girlfriend at the time. And because I listened to her experience of life. Okay, hi TikTok. I'm probably going to catch some heat for this one, because do you know what? It is all men. And I can immediately hear loads of people go, it's not all men. It's going to be the guy going, it's not all men. Maybe a few women, because some have said it to me. But what I'm going to say is really important, because it is to 90% plus of women, potentially all men. Now, I only got this about 10 or 12 years ago, and there was a specific incident in the UK. I think it involved a UK politician. I can't remember the details now. But I remember having conversations with my girlfriend at the time. And because I listened to her experience of life, I suddenly realized that just because I know I'm a nice guy, that woman in the lift that I get, or elevator, that I get into, where she's on her own and we're both in there together, she does not know that I am a nice guy, that I am not going to attack her, that I am not going to rape her. Okay? Yeah, I used that word. Now, here's the thing. What we have to do as guys, and I am in the elevator already.
Okay, so this is what I want
I'm going to step in, and there is an scenario. So, hotel, overnight, strangers, door, lift door, elevator door opens, I'm going to step in, and there is an absolutely stunning woman in the elevator already. Stunning. Every instinct in me is to try and converse with her, attract her, do something.
There you go. That is what they're battling every day. Just because they choose to be nice guys, just because they choose to behave better, doesn't mean that they aren't going to fall victim to their own instincts. This is what they're dealing with. Every instinct in them.
Every instinct, absolutely stunning overnight.
Overnight.
And I remember an incident not very long ago. Elevator door opens. I'm going to step in, and there is an absolutely stunning woman in the elevator already. Stunning. Every instinct in me is to try and converse with her.
Yeah. Every instinct in him. Yeah. Yeah. Because he's a predator. His entire body is a predator. That means that every instinct in every cell is telling him this is what he is. You're telling me that them being a good guy can override that for their entire lives. In the last 5 years or so, I read at least 3 articles. Actually, no, it just became 4 a week ago or so. It just became 4 a week ago, where an elderly man killed an elderly woman. 3 of them were partners. 3 of them were partners, which means that these women who were killed, they spent their entire lives with these males who they believed were good guys. And they ended up killing them. Do you know why they killed them? Because they didn't want to care for them. They didn't want to care for the women. So they spent their entire lives only to realize, yeah, he was always the same man. Yeah. Oh, and just last week, a 71-year-old man killed his mother just so he doesn't have to care for her. Could have just not shown up. He could have not shown up, and that would have made him a slightly better person. But of course, he's not a better person. So he chose to kill her instead. He chose to kill her instead. This is not, in fact, a better person. This is what she's telling you. Oh no, because they try so hard to be good. They must be good. This is what he's telling you, every instinct of him. And those instincts is what they carry. This is the instinct they have to carry for all of their freaking lives.
Because the parents fought hard to make sure they didn't. Also, some men out there that happen to be different because of the parents. Men out there that have made conscious effort to be different. There are also some men out there that happen to be different because of the parents that brought them up. Because the parents fought hard to make sure they didn't turn out the way a lot of men are. So
no, they are not different. No. They are not different. They act different. They are not different. They act different. It is a mask.
do not settle for a douchebag because people are saying all men are bad, all men are this, all men are saying no. If you're interested in finding a man and having a family and being with a man, do not.
I'm actually wondering if he's married, right? Because I get a sense that she is married, and that probably her husband, puts on a good show of being a good guy. The problem is that what I just described, which is 80-year-old men killing their wives, right? How does she know that she's not going to spend her life caring for this person who is going to turn around and do that to her?
Not settle with a douchebag because of what people are saying. Make that conscious effort. I mean, what the men have said. I'm not saying they're like what it is, and then you think because other men are not doing it, and the man that has money.
No, what I mean, how are women even thinking like this? I don't even get it. If we're telling you every man is good, why would your instinct not be, oh, stay away from anything that's not good? How is that not your basic instincts? How is that, oh no, stay away from, stay with the douche? How is that your instinct? If not for the fact that you are mentally ill from brainwash. If we tell you all crocodiles are bad, does that tell you go get a bad crocodile? Is that what that does to you? Huh? Is that what that does to you? If you tell you, oh no, all the chicken in the market are bad, do you then say, okay, if all the chicken are bad, then I'll just take one, and then it doesn't really matter because they're all bad? Wouldn't you just go choose fish instead? Wouldn't you go choose fish instead? Huh? And like, where's this thought process coming from? Where's this thought process coming from? If not from mental illness born of brainwash. Because what she's saying is that there can be no way you do not get a man. What she's telling you is that even though men are bad, you should get a man. And it doesn't really matter how bad they are, you should get a man anyway. That is the brainwash she is dispelling at us right now. That you must have a man. That is why you would stay with a douche. This is nonsense. If the chicken are all gone bad, you pick fish. You pick the fish, or you go home empty-handed. This is the natural instinct that is built into all of us. You have to understand that these instincts are so sacred that there is no possible way that they are wrong. Right? These instincts they're one of the immutable things about biology. They have to be made correctly. So she was born with the right instincts. And it's only brainwash that's making her think like this. And the brainwash works by telling you that there is no problem at all. The brainwash works by telling you that there is no perceived problem at all. That is why, because your instincts are for when the danger is involved. Your instincts are for when dangers are involved, which means that it's not that you don't have the instincts, it's that you've been made to think that the danger doesn't exist. This is why it's called brainwash. It's not that you don't have the instincts, it's because you've been told that there is no danger. And even when you're told that there is danger, you no longer know how to act, because now you're operating based on the false instincts that have been created in you.
Not a man that brings the bare minimum to the table, a man that makes the least effort, and then you think because other men are not doing it and he's doing it, that qualifies him to be a good man. No. Have a good understanding of what it is, what it means for a man to be a good man, and find yourself a good man. This is not...
Yeah, see? I didn't even know that she was going to say this. Find yourself a good man. No. You stay away from them. That is your only option. You stay the heck away from them. That is the only option I will ever recommend to you. Because as far as I'm concerned, recommending anything to you is recommending suicide.
Not me invalidating what the men have said. I'm not saying they're lying, but I'm saying that there are men out there making conscious efforts to be different, but they're not as much as the bad eggs.
1 in 3 women are going to be essayed by a partner off about this country. Like, do you understand that? I don't give a shit about taking the generalization.
Same thing from women, but some men have made that effort. They've worked on themselves to be different.
I don't give a shit if all men is a generalization. Do you understand why women make that generalization? It is a literal safety concern that they have to have in this country. Like, do you understand that? I don't give a shit about taking away from personal responsibility. I don't give a shit about any of that. Women have to make a sentence like that, have to talk about that, because the statistics around them being harmed by men in this country is astronomically insane.
There's some of this. That if men were actually our species, they would understand this, right? They would understand this part, and we wouldn't have to tell them 500 million times. They would understand this. I don't always, when I observe other, women, you don't always know what is going on with other women, right? But you try to empathize what you can, what you do know. And when they tell you the things that you do know, you get it instantly. You understand that? You get it instantly. We have been having the same discussion for 50 plus years. the same discussion for 50 plus years. And the reason I know that it's actually longer than that, because we see feminist works from over 100 plus years old, where women are trying to tell men, this is what you're doing to us, and we need you to stop. And we are still having the same conversation a century later. But you know what the men learn though? When they don't learn about, the dangers that they put women in, yeah, they refuse to learn that. Do you know what they learn? Yeah, how to be better predators. They will literally pay tens of thousands of dollars to go and learn that part. It's not a mistake that you're witnessing here. What you're witnessing is it's not a mistake. It's not a coincidence. Okay? Males are predators. Women really need to wake up to that reality. And really need to wake up.
1 in 3 women are going to be essayed by a partner in this country. That is someone that they know, love, and trust, who will perform essay on them.
I don't think it's 1 in 3. I don't think it's 1 in 3. Honestly, that is like a really bad undercount.
81% of women will be harassed in this country. 1 in 6 women will be stalked, and 1 in 5 will have something so horrendous happen to them that I can't say the word on this app or else my account can get deleted. And you know what I'm talking about. I don't give a shit if it's a generalization. Women have to make that generalization because they have to be. Women will be harassed in this country. 1 in 6 women will be stalked, and 1 in 5 will have something so horrendous happen to them that I can't say the word on this app or else my account can get deleted. And you know what I'm talking about. I don't give a shit if it's a generalization. Women have to make that generalization because they have to be literally concerned about their own safety. It doesn't matter if it takes away from accountability. It is a literal safety concern. And so many men will come into comment sections where they debate this fucking term, all men, instead of putting that energy into stopping the problem. Because it's not women's responsibility to fix men's fucking problems. Because this is a men's problem. Men are perpetuating this by not calling it out and by, living in these spaces where they joke about these things and talk about these things and don't call this shit out. So I don't give a fuck if it's taking away from personal responsibility. Until it is 0 men, it is all men's responsibility to fix this shit.
You'd be okay with your long-term monogamous partner going to a nightclub, bar, or party type environment where throughout the course of the night, he's going to get approached, flirted with, and sexually pursued by numerous attractive women, some of which are more attractive than you and could potentially be a better partner than you, and these women are buying him drinks, getting him drunk, and enthusiastically want to sleep with him that night and steal him away from you. You're going to tell me you'd be okay with that?
The Aran Sweater Market since 1892. For the authentic and original Irish Aran sweater with the largest range of colors and styles, as well as a variety of Aran accessories, homeware.
Oh dear, where do we begin with this one? You know when men are so close to the point and they don't realize it's going right over their head at the same time? So the men out there who have an issue with their partner, or would have an issue with their partner, going clubbing without them, I want you to imagine that you've just said everything that Brian has just said to your partner, and she responds with, not all men though. Not all men are going to try and get me drunk. Not all men are going to pursue me. Not all men are going to be interested in me for a sexual reason. How as a man are you going to respond to your partner over there?
Flirted with and sexually pursued.
So what he's describing, I find that very, very curious, actually. What he is describing is a situation where women don't take no for an answer. Do you understand that? What he described is a situation where women don't say no, don't take no for an answer, or where the man doesn't tell them no. Have you ever seen a scenario like this happen? No, really, have you ever seen a scenario like this happen without those two things that I just mentioned? Do we, as women, pursue men tirelessly when they tell us no? Do men even say no at all? Or do they enjoy the chase that they just keep their mouth shut? Or is it that they're willing to cheat on their partners, and therefore whether what the partner wants really would not matter in this case, right? Because he was going to do that anyway. He's basically giving a false equivalence here. He's giving a false equivalence to justify why men do this to women. Because what a woman would do would be to tell the man vigorously to stop doing those things that they're doing. Right? And of course, exactly like those men in the club that he described, right? Those men that the women are telling to stop would not stop. Because it is men who actually engage in this behavior, not women. So do you understand what this man is trying to say? He is asking that question that, he's asking that question in the context of, it is fine that your man tries to control you, tries to control, the apps that you, the dating apps, not the dating apps, the social media apps that you're on, the clothes that you wear, the time that you go out, or the places that you go, or that you don't go out at all, etc. Right? He's trying to justify why the woman should be controlled. But he described a situation in which the man has no control whatsoever. He described a situation where the man doesn't try to assert any control. Because when men are approaching you in clubs or in anywhere else, you assert control and tell them to stop that. You are not interested. Yeah? You assert that control. He described a situation where the man doesn't even try to assert the control, because what he actually really wanted was for all these things to happen to him. He wants all these women to approach him. It's a false equivalency. He is double standarding as you see it. He's creating a double standard. The behaviors are different, and therefore they require different behaviors, different behavior modulators. The behaviors are different, so they require different modulating. Trying to say that you require the same exact behavior modulation, even though the behaviors are different.
Pursued by numerous attractive women, some of which are more attractive than you and could potentially you.
All men, though. Not all men are going to try and get me drunk. Not all men are going to pursue me. Not all men are going to be interested in me for a sexual reason. How as a man are you going to respond to your partner when she says to you, not all men? Men get so pressed on the phrase all men until no men that they don't realize they uphold it in the exact same way. When it benefits them, it's okay to use, but when it doesn't, it's not okay. You say that you can't generalize all men and put them in the same box when it comes to disproportionate harm, but then you're okay putting them all in the same box when it could be a potential threat to your relationship. Are you basically admitting that men are that bad? That men are going to behave in this way towards any women that they see at a club? That they're not capable of respecting boundaries and they're not capable of accepting rejection and handling it in an appropriate way? Because you trust your partner and you trust that if she was approached by any man in any circumstance that she would say no to him and that he would accept that, right? But of course, the real issue is when your partner, or if your partner goes clubbing without you, suddenly now any man that comes into contact with her, you're going to be worried about. Why is that? When it's your partner coming into contact with other men in a circumstance where you think, feel, and believe that there is a potential threat to your relationship, suddenly that is okay. But when women in general have a fear or wariness around men, suddenly that's not okay. Because it's not just a double standard, it's a contradiction. Men basically use all men until no men when it suits their narrative. They just don't like it when women say it.
Let's have a look at the comment section. This happens to women nearly every time we go out. That's true. We get approached by men. Yet, most of us manage to stay faithful. Is this man saying that all men would cheat if given the same opportunity? Think about it. And I think what she's saying does make a whole lot of sense. Because I've heard people say your partner is not cheating because of lack of opportunity. Give him that opportunity, he will most likely cheat on you. So men don't stay faithful because they are good men. They are only faithful because they don't have opportunities. Think about it. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section.
The worst state to live.
So basically, they're telling you that it is all men. It's all men. The only thing they want is sex. And they don't want relationships because that is a human thing and they are not. They don't want your kids because that's a human thing and they are not. And everything exactly that I've been telling you, which is that they are also predators and you are the prey.
Right now,
it means the only thing to stop doing is to stop being with them. Period. Point blank. When you're married to one, you're married, you are a prey in a relationship with your predator. Simple as that. It's simple as that. When you're married to one, you are being preyed upon. When you're sleeping with one, you are being preyed upon. You remember the one that says, it's natural to us. That's they are preying on you. We can't help it. It's instinct. It's natural. Right? The one that said, oh, every instinct in me, every instinct in you was supposed to be designed to propagate your existence, not to bother somebody else, not to bother somebody else's existence. So when every one of your instincts is driven to a certain task, it means that thing, it means that it is a prey-predator design, because that is the only time, that is a way to drive something that benefits your survival. That is only designed to prey-predator design. Every instinct in you to go after another organism, that is a prey-predator design. Because the only time the predator thing happens is when one obtains energy for biological processes, which is literally tied very closely to your very existence. That is why the work to do that is driven so deeply, so profoundly by instincts, right? Because again, the instincts, right? In an earlier video, I was talking about the behavior, the cost of the behavior, and the instinct that is in it, and the design of the instincts and the benefits in it. Yeah, when it's going to require a lot of work from you, right? That means it has a lot of cost. That means it has a lot of cost. There has to be one design there has to be a design to force you to engage in that behavior, right? Because absence those force things, right? You're not going to engage in those behaviors. So those things, they give you the instinct to do that, but they also give you a reward. They also give you a reward for that behavior. That is what drives the behavior. First the instincts, and then what? The reward from it, the pleasure from it, right? So the reason men have pleasure, it's sex, is to drive that behavior. And the level of benefits and the instinct is what instigates the depth and frequency, the frequency of how you're going to engage in the behavior. If you're not required to engage in the behavior often, right? Often, then the benefit, the pleasure from it would reduce, because you don't need to do shit. So it doesn't need to reward you for anything. So the fact that they can say that I have this instinct, right? I have this instinct, it means that it is tied to their survival. It is tied to the survival of the actual species, of their whatever origin species that they are. They're not. Women need to realize how deeply in trouble we are. Purpose of every one of my videos is to let you know how deeply in trouble we are. The things that you see as your human kin, your fellow humans, they are not that. And it is obvious in every granular detail of their speech, if only you know how to listen. It is obvious in every granular conversation, every granular communication that they dispel. It is obvious in a lot of their behaviors. What they want you to believe is that, oh no, we're two different kinds. In my research, I realized that there is not supposed to be a two different kind of any organism. And that it is entirely because of the sex demonism that happened that there are two kinds at all. The reason is that two kinds reproduction is highly inefficient. It's highly inefficient and waste of space and waste of energy. That is why you would not use it, because biology has so much to do that it is going at a rapid pace, which means that that the only way it can successfully do all the things that it is doing is by managing the energy properly and not wasting the energy, which means that it would have to be very uber energy efficient. That means it would not engage in activities that dispel energy but produce nothing. Like period. Your monthly period is one such thing. It takes energy to build up your uterine wall. It takes energy to release an egg. It takes energy to build up the egg in the first place. It takes energy to dispel the chemicals in you, right? Your hormones. It takes energy to recall them, right? So it would not, and then it has to do that monthly. It would not do all of that unless it expects that there would actually be a child, which means every time that happens, every time those behaviors happen, those biological processes happen, a child is supposed to materialize. You're supposed to create a child every time. That is the only way biology works. Whatever biology you engage in is supposed to result in something every time. The way sexual reproduction is set up, it is a hit or miss. It is hitting it and hoping to get lucky. And biology doesn't work like that. Biology does not work like that. Anyway. God, it's an hour. When is it ended here?